Hi guys, this is my instant match reaction to the Tottenham Hotspur 3, Qarabag 0 Europa League victory. You've got to say, Tottenham did incredibly well to get that result, considering after just 7 minutes of the game, Radu Dragusin was caught with a little bit of a high press from the Qarabag strikers and tried to take a touch. It wasn't a good touch, maybe because he's not been playing a lot of games, maybe the rhythm wasn't quite there, and then he let their striker get a touch ahead of him and he had to pull him down, or he chose to pull him down. Tottenham down to 10 men straight away. Lucas Bergvall had to be sacrificed so that Destiny Udogie could come on and Ben Davies then play centre-half. And look, at that point, is anybody really thinking that Tottenham are going to win this game, let alone win it 3-0? So you have to give credit where credit's due. And one thing I will say, if you are an Arsenal fan tonight, you look at that and you say, do we actually have to play 11 men behind the ball and not have a single pass in 90 minutes for some of our players when we go down to 10 men? No, you don't. You can still play on the front foot. You can still play with a high line. You can still put pressure on your opponents. And Tottenham really proved that today. And I, for one, was very, very impressed. I'll just go through some of the stuff that happened. Like I said, 7 minutes gone. Dragusin gets himself sent off. But then, after just 12 minutes, Brennan Johnson scores another one for Tottenham Hotspur. 1-0. It was a beautiful high press from Pape Matar Sarr and Dominic Solanke. Solanke gets the ball running at the 18-yard box, slips in Brennan Johnson, and actually the ball is a little bit behind him. And what Brennan Johnson does so well is he just slows his body down, lets the ball come to him, and then first time just opens his body up and with the side of his right foot uses the pace on the ball to generate the pace and the skiddiness of the surface, because it was a wet night in London, and it slides into the bottom left-hand corner. Again, I talked about his goal against Brentford as being Harry Kane-esque in terms of his finishing, and tonight was exactly the same. It was a Harry Kane-esque finish, and it's showing that he has confidence now. He knows he's got the belief of the manager, and from what was a terrible week just 10 days ago or so, and him having to come off social media because of some of the abuse he was getting from Spurs fans, he's now scored 3 in 3 games, and he set Tottenham off and running to this victory. And without that goal, we would not have won the game tonight. I'm sure of that. It was vital to get that goal early on after we'd gone to 10 men. Between that kind of goal and the 27th, kind of 30th minute, Qarabag just had chance after chance. Tottenham were playing that high line, and we weren't putting enough pressure on the ball in central midfield. And as a result, they were playing through our high line and getting one-on-ones, maybe 2 or 3 of them, and they should have scored from that, but they didn't. And then after about half an hour, 27 minutes actually, sorry, Johnson gets himself another chance. A beautiful ball over the top from Archie Gray, who played really well today at right back, by the way. Definitely his best performance in a Spurs shirt. Incredibly mature considering he's only 18 years old. He did something a little bit different that maybe Qarabag weren't expecting. A long ball over the top towards Brennan Johnson, who was in behind their fullback, and the goalkeeper decides to come out and accidentally runs past the ball, leaving Brennan Johnson with a kind of difficult side-footed volley finish from the corner of the 18-yard box, really, but the goal was gaping, and in the end he just kind of kicked it wide, which was a little bit disappointing, but it was a difficult skill. Then just before half-time, 40 minutes, an absolutely gilt-edged chance for Qarabag. They got in down the left, got to the byline, a really Spurs-esque chance under Postecoglou, got to the left-hand side, across the box, and the striker just needs to open his body up and put it into an empty net, but he got too much on it and hit it wide. Tottenham very lucky there. Another chance on 43 minutes, a free header at the back post. He heads it down, doesn't get enough on it. And then a mad bit of play from Vicario after 45 minutes where Ben Davies gets caught on the ball under a high press, tries to lay it back to Vicario, and Vicario just comes sliding out in a 50-50 challenge, nearly got himself sent off. Luckily he got the ball, but that could have been an absolute nightmare for Spurs. So 1-0 at half-time. Second half, Spurs started pretty brightly in the first 5 minutes. A little bit of a worry, though, in the kind of 3 minutes into the second half. Sonny, I saw him grabbing his hamstring, and then later in the game, he actually came off, and he looked unhappy. So I'm really worried about his availability, potentially for the Manchester United game at the weekend. But that came from a lovely cross from Archie Gray on the right, and Sonny should have been in at the back post, but he wasn't. Then on 52 minutes, Pape Matar Sarr scores our second goal. Back stick on the volley after a Deki Kulusevski in swinging corner. The goalkeeper kind of flaps at it, and it comes to Pape Matar Sarr, actually very similar to a goal that Toby Alderweireld scored against Arsenal many years ago. at White Hart Lane. It came to Pape Matar on the volley, and he has to side foot volley it. He does really well, gets enough pace on it that it beats the defender at the near post. Then on 55 minutes, this game had everything. It was helter-skelter, end to end, 100 miles an hour. Yves Bissouma gives away a penalty. He got the ball, but he got the man as well. You'd have to say it was a penalty. He gets booked for it. And then after a couple of minutes of toing and froing and VAR checks, the striker balloons the penalty over the bar. And then in kind of classic Tottenham style, we're trying to then start on the attack quickly, give the ball away straight away. And Vicario has to make a really important save at the front post, catches it, and then literally 1 minute later, maybe even less, Sonny is then through at the Qarabag defence, and he slips in Dominic Solanke, who made a really clever run on the left. Solanke is in, left foots it, doesn't quite get enough angle on it to beat the keeper, who makes a decent save. So it was really just all happening around those 59 minutes, because then just a minute later or so, Vicario has to make a stunning save, tipping it over the bar from a left foot shot just outside the box. And then just between 60 and 65, 70 minutes, chance after chance after chance for Qarabag. Another good headed chance, a terrible header saved by Vicario, another shot at the near post that hit the post. And then the third goal, 67 minutes, Dominic Solanke. Sonny has his shot, which I think actually probably maybe made his little hamstring tweak worse, but it's a bad shot, but it's terribly saved by the keeper. Just pushes it out into the middle of his goal, and Dominic Solanke finishes it easily. We then started making the subs. Bissouma and Sonny came off, Werner and Bentancur came on. Tottenham played okay, but always giving away chances from crosses towards the end of the game. But like I said, the most important thing is the result, and 3-0 when you are down to 10 men for 93 minutes is an incredible result for Tottenham Hotspur. And Qarabag will make some teams struggle against them. They're a decent team. They are not very clinical, that is fair to say. They had a lot of chances and they should have scored. But the reality is a win is a win. I'm just going to go through the players and how I thought they performed. Vicario, I would give a 9 out of 10. He made some unbelievable saves. He was proactive in coming for crosses. He was on the front foot. He was aggressive. He didn't struggle from any set pieces or corners. And he really he kept that clean sheet today, and that was very, very good for him. And it'll be really good for his confidence as well. Archie Gray, I'm going to give a 9 out of 10 as well. He stuck to his task well. I don't think he is a natural right back as much as he's maybe a natural central midfielder, but he is blessed with lovely composure on the ball, and there were a few little flicks and tricks trying to get Kulusevski in down the right when Kulusevski had come on, and yeah, I was impressed with Gray today, and he made some important blocks and some important tackles, and he's going to be an important player for Tottenham for many years to come. Dragusin, I have to give a 1 out of 10 because he got himself sent off. He needs rhythm in his legs. He doesn't have it, and that's why he wasn't able to deal with that press. And I feel for him, and I especially feel for Lucas Bergvall, actually, who was the one who had to come off because of that. He looked devastated on the bench, but that's football. That's what happens. There will be more opportunity for Lucas Bergvall and more opportunity for Radu Dragusin. It's just a shame it happened at all, but also so early in the game. Mickey van der Ven, colossal. 8 out of 10, didn't put a foot wrong, turned on the afterburners a few times as he always does, saves us with his pace. Ben Davies, I'll give a 7 out of 10. I think he did pretty well. He looked a little shaky early on, made a few bad passes, but then really got into it. And some really impressive stuff kind of breaking with the ball, breaking the Qarabag press, but also some good balls in between the lines. He's an underrated passer, Ben Davies. Yves Bissouma, I'll give a 6.5, 7 out of 10. Thought he did okay. Did some good things, did some bad things, a little bit erratic at times, but when he does good things, they're so good that you're just kind of frustrated that he's not able to just be consistently brilliant all the time. That's what we need to see from Bissouma. That's what we need to take his game on to another level. Pape Matar got his goal. I was pleased for him. He never stopped working. His technique has a little bit to be desired sometimes, and he did give the ball away a few times when receiving the ball in central midfield from Vicario. He doesn't take it on the half turn as well as Bentancur or even Bergvall, certainly not Maddison or Kulusevski. So that was a little bit of a struggle for him. But again, Pape Matar, still young, such a good engine, gets up and down. Definitely his best performance of the season. Brennan Johnson took his goal beautifully. He was taken off at half-time. He's played a lot of football recently, so hopefully that was just a precaution. Dominic Solanke got his goal. I'll give Johnson a 7 out of 10. Solanke got his goal. I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Excellent hard work, back to goal, holding it up all the time. He's really brought something to this Tottenham team in terms of his hold-up play. No shade on Richarlison, but Solanke is just a much better player holding the ball up. It is just as simple as that. So I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. And Sonny, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10. He was okay, a little bit isolated at times, but you'd expect that when you're down to 10 men. But the most important thing is Tottenham got the first win in an important Europa League campaign on the journey to Bilbao. We want to win this tournament. We want to get to the final. You get to the final, you win this tournament, you're in the Champions League. And frankly, Tottenham, especially now we've drawn Man City in the League Cup, the Europa League might be our best chance of getting some silverware this season. So very impressive performance. Good to see a team playing aggressively and on the front foot against 10 men, unlike them lot down the road. And all in all, a very enjoyable night's work. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Who was your man of the match? Also, don't forget, please do like this video. Press subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to this channel for daily Tottenham Hotspur content and daily Premier League news and transfer news. And you can listen to this podcast as an audio podcast too on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Just go there, type in the Spurred On podcast. But most importantly, 3-0. Come on, you Spurs.